Spirit Sports Consultants presents our weekly NFL picks. Here with more details, we turn it over to our analyst team.
Week 12 of the NFL season, which starts off with a Thanksgiving Day triple-header, followed up with a game on Friday between the Dolphins and the Jets. We think it's probably one of the best weekends of the year. God, who can say no to pumpkin pie and Thanksgiving dinner, and then lots of football. And as always, the Thanksgiving Day games begin at Detroit as they host the Green Bay Packers in this one. Detroit has had one of their best seasons ever. Jared Goff and that offense and that defense has been showing signs of weakness, but we like them here in a closer game than people might expect. If the Packers' Jair Alexander is back, that pass defense is surprisingly good. We see this as a close division game. Next up, we have Washington at Dallas, and the Cowboys are having a year very similar to what the Dolphins are doing, whereas they struggle against the really good teams, and then they beat up on the average to weak teams. And we think that habit continues here, beating the Commanders 31-17. Dak Prescott and that offense should be able to thrive against a defense that no longer has Chase Young, and the Dallas pass defense has been phenomenal. 49ers at the Seahawks. The 49ers had that three-game skid where they looked positively average. The Seahawks really haven't looked that dominant either. We'll overlook that loss at Baltimore, but the game that concerned us was where they hosted Washington and just barely won. We think the 49ers, now with Chase Young added to that defensive line with Nick Bosa, they're a Super Bowl threat, and we think they'll win it here 27-21, if not by a wider margin, as the Seahawks come back down to earth. Dolphins at the Jets and a Friday special. I think this is the first time they've played on this day. We like the Dolphins here at New York. Normally, this would be a matchup, a potential upset for the Jets. And had the Dolphins not added Jalen Ramsey back, we would agree with that. But we think with Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, and that pass defense, look out. We could even see the pass defense scoring a touchdown or two. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel. And if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. Saints at the Falcons in this tough NFC South division matchup. For this game, it really comes down to injuries. We have to see what the injury report looks like at the end of the week because Michael Thomas was hurt. Several of the Falcons players was hurt. Now they're going back from Heineke to Desmond Ridder, who hasn't exactly been lighting it up. So for this, we see it looking for the under on this one. Both teams have good pass defenses. We're not sure Derek Carr's status. Go with 17-14. Take the under once it's released. Jaguars at the Texans. And looking at the Texans, it's like they're the reverse of what the Dolphins and Cowboys are doing. If you look at their schedule and results, they're beating the good teams. They beat the Bengals, Steelers, and Jaguars at Jacksonville, and they're losing to teams like the Falcons and Panthers. We think that pattern continues here if you consider Jags of the division leader, and they continue the season sweep, taking the Jags here 31-21 at home. Look out for the Texans as a seriously viable playoff contender. Steelers at the Bengals. What has changed for the Bengals? Oh, not much. Just lost Joe Burrow, having to turn to Jake Browning. We still think the Bengals offense is going to be enough here. We think the Steelers coming off a tough defeat at Cleveland. Their offense is just still struggling, right? You know, they're winning games on special teams and defense. I think it'll be closer than people think. The Bengals are favored by 5. We think they'll just narrowly win this. Tampa Bay at Indy, and Mayfield and Minshew have had surprisingly good seasons. Mayfield definitely with a bounce back here. Curious to see how that thumb responds, thumb injury on your throwing hand. We like the Colts here in a close one, 28-24, but rather than picking the winner, take the over here. We think it's going to be high scoring. Patriots at the Giants, and kudos to what Brian Daboll's done with that Giants team. That was our only straight-up loss yesterday. Giants-Commanders game as the Giants exceeded all expectations and just put it to the Commanders there. We wanted the Patriots in this game, but the Giants have shown us enough on defense and with what they've done on offense, and we feel that the Patriots are totally lost. We think that Bill O'Brien has not done a great job with that offense. Go with the Giants. The Panthers and the Titans, two rookie quarterbacks facing off. Bryce Young definitely would like to forget about his rookie season. Hopefully he's going to find something to salvage to build on for year 2. We like Will Levis and the Titans at home. We think it's going to come down to the running game and what Derrick Henry can do. We like them 24-20. Rams at the Cardinals, and this is one reason you have to watch every game in the NFL. The Rams got a lucky win with Seattle missing a game-winning field goal at the end. Cardinals played a tough game, came down to, a 5-point margin. They were really in it, made C.J. Stroud look human, 3 interceptions. We think they can do that to Matthew Stafford as they come back home off a tough loss. We like the Cardinals here, 24-21. Browns at the Broncos, and looking at the Broncos, one thing jumped off the page as we were looking at their season average on defense, which is the bottom of the league. But if you look at what they've done in the past 3 or 4 games, their points allowed has been cut in half. Couple this with an unbelievable Browns defense, and we think it'll be a low-scoring game. We're going to pencil in 21-17 Broncos on this one. Chiefs at the Raiders in this AFC West matchup. The Raiders, since Antonio Pierce has taken over, look like a completely different team. And Chiefs, we know they're good. They've been consistently good. Pat Mahomes, everybody else. We think this one of those games is going to catch people off guard. We think the Raiders are going to come up here with an upset. We like their pass defense going against Mahomes, and we think the offense is improved, and we like their running attack with Josh Jacobs. So we're going to take them as our upset pick of the week. Bills at the Eagles. I put this question out there mostly to Bills Mafia. Did Ken Dorsey deserve to be fired as offensive coordinator? Look at the overall Bills statistics. Their offense is just fine. It's the turnovers that's killing them, and that's not a coaching thing. That's execution. Josh Allen's got to stop those interceptions. We don't see that happening against an Eagles defense. However, Jalen Hurts also is high in interception percentage, and he needs to control that as well. But in this game, we think the Eagles do more, 28-24. Ravens at the Chargers, and the Chargers losing two things yesterday, the game against the Packers and then Joey Bosa for the season. I don't know which is worse. I'm going to take the injury. Chargers have had such a disappointing season. We're going to go with the Ravens here. We think that what Lamar Jackson brings, he's got a great balance of rushing and passing. It's been a great season for them. We don't think the West Coast travel is going to mess them up too much. We like the Ravens here, 34-24 over the struggling Chargers. Bears at the Vikings, and in our opinion, the two teams that had the most heartbreaking losses yesterday, both building up good-sized leads only to lose it late. Vikings, we think they were a victim of the mile-high altitude. They just seemed to fall apart in the second half. In Chicago, I'm not sure what happened. They got Jared Goff in 3 picks. We were going to go with the Bears just to piss off the Vikings fans. We're going to pick the Vikings here at home, 28-21. But Justin Fields is back. Look out for that offense.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.